Hello and welcome back, my name is Kat, back in another crypto video. Hope you guys are doing well, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another bullish day here in PulseChain. I'm going to be giving you guys the latest updates in all of crypto and in PulseChain. I think we have so many bullish news, ladies and gentlemen. It might not look as bullish in the charts right now, but I do think this is an opportunistic time, honestly, to get into, PulseChain and get into crypto before the whole bull run basically starts. We're going to be covering a few bullish news that we had recently, and of course one of them, which I'm going to assume a lot of you guys know this, especially if you were in my Telegram link in the description. Ethereum ETF has been approved, and I believe it will start trading in probably under a month, 28 days. That is extremely bullish. When you really think about it, doesn't that basically make PulseChain also not a security, because it's an L1, it's a literal fork of Ethereum. Those two should both be considered as commodities. So it does raise that question, will the SEC have to dismiss the case? Honestly, pretty interesting stuff. And there's as well more bullish news, but I have to thank my DeFi Insiders, the YouTube members that are choosing to support my small channel. Thank you very much for doing so. Let's carry on with the video. As we're looking here at the chart, before we get to the good news, I just want to show some TA. Yeah, we unfortunately broke the trend line, the second trend line that I made, and we're basically almost going to break that parabolic arch that I made as well. So yeah, we need to basically recover to get back on track. That's absolutely fine with me. Am I nervous? No. I'll show you guys. I have actually two tokens that I'm going to be talking about that are super low market cap that might do well in the next few days and weeks. I think they're super interesting, and that's my main point. Actually, I don't need the core coins to do well, to go up or down. They can go sideways. I mean, they can go down a little bit, fine, but I do think they will recover. But elsewhere in PulseChain, it's actually been doing very well, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be covering that, and one of them is obviously PLUSD, guys. It's literally actually, it's a beautiful looking chart. It's recovering. It's very healthy pullbacks, just like in every other chart. And as well, it's honestly acting as if it's in its own little bull run. And I have been saying this to a lot of people. PRC20 is honestly a separate category. And of course, pStables is the leading subset of that. And I think it's huge. PRC20 is actually almost like a gold mine. You can find a token. You can even bridge stuff from ERC20. I made a video almost half a year ago on how to bridge tokens from Ethereum to PulseChain. And then you can, create a community or whatever. But I think honestly it's a separate gold mine. You know what I mean? Trying to front run, supply liquidity here and there. You never know, down the line a community from Ethereum will want to come over to PulseChain, or something becomes more relevant where they're like, oh hey, there's this PRC20, let's try to revive it. A lot of things are community takeovers. One of them is PLUSD. It's the chosen pStable to peg by the community, right? PDAI, I've been saying this to people, is the chosen pStable to peg by Richard Hart and Atropa Dev. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think honestly, it's very interesting stuff. I'm going to be doing more videos on this. But going back to the news, what makes PulseChain super bullish? Number one, thanks to PulseChain Foundation, guys, it is confirmed we're going to be listed on Maxi, which is, by the way, it's basically a centralized exchange where you can leverage stuff. I believe it has with limited KYC, so it's actually a really nice. I've used it a little bit here and there actually. They're going to be listing PulseChain in less than 7 days. This is actually pretty sick. It does make me want to honestly get into kind of leveraging things. You can short things as well, which is pretty sick. Because I was thinking about, honestly, if I could leverage, I would definitely leverage things like Cardano, Chainlink. You know what I mean? They're both. Those two are actually on dips where, just leveraging it back to all-time high, or, halfway through all-time high, local all-time high, is going to make a good amount of returns. So I think, yeah, maybe I'm going to make a video on that on Maxi. Let me know. Second good news that we have found, ladies and gentlemen, PulseChain is as well now being listed on TradingView, which is pretty cool stuff. TradingView, I think it's one of the best tools for, TA analysis, your one-stop place to go and do whatever graph chart analysis. You can even import your own scripts, by the way. You can go here and personal, carry your own script and stuff like that. So obviously it's way more better than just going on Dex Screener. And now they have PulseChain here, which is kind of sick. Of course the graph here doesn't look that good, but this is as well another bullish thing. It's getting recognition, guys. That's the main point that I'm trying to say. Moving on, by the way, we haven't heard, or at least I haven't talked about the Atropa 414 dev, and recently he's been active in the chats, and he was talking about a few things here and there. I'm gonna kind of skim through it, but he basically, is super bullish, and he talks about, I think it's arguable that staking could greatly benefit the ecosystem post $1 pStables. I might allow staking some tokens on certain cap and trade assets that would pay out only in futures after the staking period, or could pay out some ongoing amount plus futures, etc. I think there are options past $1 pStables. Could end up with all the treasury down staked for some time. I think it would drastically change the numbers. Done correctly, it would also support Hex and Richard Heart ecosystem. Done superbly, flows of commodity plus future into cap and trade funding that would pay out the staking rewards rather than the Hex-like system, and no end stake buttons unless the deposit asset is redeemable after staking. So I get that, but I didn't get the first part of the message. I would like some kind of explanations on that part. So you could actually be rewarded in tokens that don't even exist yet for a stake you create early on. And then in those other things, you could forget which asset you staked your token. So then he continues on talking about, automatically redeeming it and then sending it to the user. So yeah, expect all this cap and trade stuff comes more into focus before $1 pStables. So we might see something soon. He did say that it's not implemented, the code has not been implemented yet, but this should be the spot where something on the blockchain and in layer 2 C# client becomes identical. Maybe Oracle and not RCS. I don't know if there's any blockchain reason for the tokens to talk to the Oracle other than to find out about upgradable plugins. Still thinking of calling it, and then that he mentions that. So pretty interesting stuff. I did kind of reply here just to say, just remind people, honestly, Atropa is going to shock people when they least expect it. And I said, laws of crypto, people fading the ecosystem to jump in on the next shiny thing. Solana desensitized us, thinking that Teddy Bear at 20 million market cap is too big or too late. And I just said, y'all know how many billions SHIB reached, right? And I basically said, only possible in PulseChain, Hart's Law. What a concept. So yeah, pretty cool stuff, honestly. I do like seeing the 414 dev continuing to, think about basically scaling up the system, the ecosystem, all of that dysnomia layer 2 stuff is really, really great, actually. So that's another thing, honestly, that makes PulseChain super, super bullish. Now, in terms of general news, ladies and gentlemen, of course, right now, Trump, we have, he released a statement, and I think, honestly, it's gonna get a lot of people on his side. I mean, he got on my side, but I'm not in America, so it doesn't really matter. But this is what he said, with a quote: "I will ensure that the future of Bitcoin and crypto will remain in the USA. I will support the right to self-custody. I'll keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin. I'll never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency," which, you know what, that's a really good thing. I'm glad it's not happening. Well, I hope it doesn't happen. Because, you're not going to trust your bank when they make their own blockchain, guys. You never know what kind of whitelisting function, what kind of blacklisting function, stuff like that, freezing. I mean, hey, even some of those stables that we have today have the freezing function. Imagine at what scale would happen in an actual CBDC, you know what I mean? So yeah, Trump is super bullish on crypto, and he even said he wants US to remain the #1 with no #2 spot. As the leading country for crypto companies and stuff like that, with innovation, technology, financial system, etc. And that is really, really good. There's another thing here. Even Michael Saylor himself is bullish that Ethereum ETF is a thing. And obviously, Michael Saylor, he's a Bitcoin maximalist, whatever that word is. But recently, he kind of changed his mind, and he did say, actually having both ETFs, it will further, legitimize the kind of the crypto industry as an asset, commodity, you know what I mean? So I think that's really good. Obviously, people can change their minds. He's open-minded. I like that. But hey, a question that I've seen that raised, and people have laughed at it. I've seen it, and it's called PulseChain ETFs. When? You know what I mean? Obviously, we might be a couple or a few, more than a year away from that. But you never know. A lot of things come unexpectedly. Actually, one of those things could be, hey, Bitcoin can all of a sudden pump all the way to 200k and catch everyone off guard. You really never know. Okay, so keep that in mind. I mean, obviously, being in having an ETF, now opens venues for those institutional investors, like Wall Street, whatever, to come over and invest. But remember, they're not our friends. So if they're coming in here, guys, remember, it's not like it's going to be this never-ending pump thing. Just like in every other bull cycle, there's always going to be the peak. There's always going to be the downfall, and then we're going to repeat the cycle. We're in the bear market for a little bit. Again, right now, what's leading the bear market? Is it now just going to be the Bitcoin halving, which is going to happen every 4 years? Hopefully not. Maybe something else will accelerate it. You know what I mean? So always have an exit strategy. Take profits in milestones. Keep that in mind, okay? But of course, I think we're very far away from that, because especially I think, it's 2025. I think we're going to have the peak of the bull run, because imagine, Donald Trump winning the election. I think it's highly likely right now for him to win the election. He's getting a lot of people's likes. There's also this Reddit post. Actually, I saw my friend Sami here share it. It says we're so gonna make it. Reddit is so salty at Ethereum ETF, and this was the post. I read it and it was actually quite crazy actually. So the Ethereum ETF approval news was posted on the main French personal finance subreddit yesterday. This is one of the first comments, and he said, "We are so early." And you want to read this, you want to stick around and read this. So this guy says, frankly, cryptos really are the epitome of stupidity combined with religious self-righteousness. The thing is literally a religion that feeds organized crime. Even Pokemon card speculation is less pitiful. Strangely enough, not at all. There's a big intersection between crypto bros, conspiracy theorists, people who talk about inflation 24 hours a day while talking about the elites, aka etc., climate skeptics and libertarians. All they understand is how to fill their wallets by screwing everyone else, but drape themselves in a fight against elites. Truly mediocre and despicable beings. Even rodents have more value. Crazy stuff right there. I don't know why nobody's saying anything. It's 100% going to lead to a catastrophe. That's crazy, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, the W crypto community. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, the one who wrote that one got us 100%. But I think this is obviously not satire. I think this is someone who actually believes in this. It is honestly a very bullish signal. So moving on, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to as well kind of show the state of PulseChain right now. A lot of the Richard Heart tokens are negative, but just a small little point here. I'm going to show you guys a list of tokens that are actually doing really well in PulseChain, which is honestly disregarding whether the Richard Heart tokens are doing well. Not the number one. I just want to show you guys here. Look at this. This is my Richard Heart ecosystem watch list. The number one is, of course, you got WBTC. I'm super bullish on that, by the way. Literally, this is a steal to be at that price point, but that's for another video. Look at this PLUSD, ladies and gentlemen, with a beautiful looking chart. Actually, I might as well need to delete that. With a beautiful looking chart. Of course I did. Basically a 33x and huge pump to all-time high. And literally, if we take away the logarithmic, we do that, we reset it, and then let's do a 4-hour chart instead. Look at that chart, ladies and gentlemen. A healthy pullback, and we're looking solid. Today we pumped another like 10%. I mean, literally defying what PulseChain is literally doing. Whether if it's going up or down, PLUSD is literally still doing its thing. It's actually kind of amazing. I've seen this other person. I'm gonna make a separate video on PLUSD, but I've seen this other person talk about how in the future, basically, because the mint rate is 1 PLUSD per 1 pulse, I believe. And he was talking about how in the future, imagine that having 1 PLUSD will be worth 1 pulse. So if I do it in the pulse chart, you can see that's 0.008. So a nice little target in the future is, of course, reaching that 1 PLUSD or 1 pulse. Now imagine the people who have billions. That's a lot of money, guys. You know what I mean? It's a nice little milestone to think about. Really, really crazy stuff. And I've been saying this, guys. Honestly, pStables are going to be a huge narrative. First of all, in PulseChain, number one, because people are going to flock into PulseChain. I truly do believe they're going to be like, hey, the world's largest, you know, airdropping in crypto history. At some point, I think this will pick up more eyeballs, and people will gonna come in, and they're gonna be like, oh my god, I want to be part of stablecoins that are not yet pegged. You know what I mean? This is kind of pretty cool concept, right? Like, you know, it's a sick narrative, and I do believe like this bull run is for the stables. It is for the stable coins. Like, I mean, even look at Tether USDT. You know, in the first quarter that they released, they're in billions of profit, guys. You know what I mean? So why can't we do it as well? You know what I mean? PDAI is more than halfway through reaching you know, $1. We're literally at half a cent basically. We almost touched 1 cent, and it already did a 5,000. Is it 5,000% or 5,000x? I don't really know, but you know what I mean? Like, we're way ahead of it. It's a proven concept, honestly. And obviously right now PUSD, and I do believe honestly PUSDC and PUSDC and PUSDT as well. I think honestly all four of those pStables will reach $1. Do you know what I mean? Like, let me know what you think of that. But aside from that, ladies and gentlemen, now I do have a token here to talk about. Of course, INC is at $2.7. I wanted to show you guys a little gem here to provide liquidity. Now, I really would like you guys not to provide it to this, because I want to keep that ratio to myself, but you know, I do care about you guys. Of course, I want you guys winning with me. So I'm going to show you guys this little gem. It's a V3 pool of INC. Look at this 10k volume, and this is not even the highest of volume days, with 12k in liquidity. Think about that liquidity to volume ratio. This is bullish, and imagine being in V3 where you make the providing liquidity a tight range. You can make a good amount of yield in this. So yeah, that's what I'm planning to do next. Do not listen to that part. Don't do that, because you're in competition with me right now. I'm kidding, obviously. This is a gem that I wanted to share with you guys as well. Next thing is, of course, I want to give a shout out to LUSD Burn R, a really, really great project. It's at 34k market cap. This is a literal micro cap, ladies and gentlemen, that is waiting to explode. Now, of course, it did already have an explosion, of course, with the initial hype of PLUSD, where it grabbed people's attention, like your friend saw me, where PLUSD had its initial, you know, hype up, and it did like a nice 30x from 300k market cap to like almost 11 million market cap. And I truly do believe, you know, history often rhymes. If it can do it once, it can do it again. And I think it didn't even reach like half a milli. Like, this was just 300k market cap. Do you know what I mean? And there you go. This is how much I bought at this level as well. So I'm literally holding, I'm making myself my reflections and stuff like that. I really like LUSD Burn R, in my opinion. And of course, I like one USD as well. I'm not sure if there's any others in the ecosystem. Let me know. I believe there's one that was called BLUSD, but I'm gonna give that a pass, in my opinion, because I think it's basically trying to you know, get people's attention away from PLUSD. But in my opinion, you know, I'm not gonna go to BLUSD. I don't really know enough of it. So if you do have information, do let me know. But moving on, this is another kind of project here that, you know, quite recently I heard it today from another fellow whale, and this one is called Avocado. With the way it's spelled, you can kind of guess what it does, and it basically does reflection of the PAVE that we have on here in PulseChain, the PRC20. This one is at 16k market cap, ladies and gentlemen. So super micro gem. Remember, this is not financial advice. Do your own research. This is risk capital. You know what I mean? It's not confirmed. It's super high risk. You know, low liquidity. I'm not sure if there's any other liquidity pools. We're gonna double check right now. Yeah. It's basically the only. I mean, I'm not sure. It doesn't really show the value number here, but yeah, the only one is with. But at least, you know, they have an icon. They have a Twitter for it. They have a Telegram. But I believe the Telegram only directs to the actual PAVE. So yeah, and as well, come down here. You want to read about it? Oh, let's see. Actually, I didn't really read about it. AVE is a hyper-deflationary asset. I think they're talking about the normal PAVE. AVE is the boss of avocado cartel. Of the avocado, the AVE, the boss of avocado cartel, is here to help bring parity to PAVE, whilst bringing great yield to its holders. 1% buy and 1% burn. Yield to holders with 2% burn on sales and 2%. Yield on sales. So pretty cool stuff. I like that. I want to make myself some AVE, because if you guys didn't know, AVE on WPLS is not this one, is basically 30 cents. When you compare it to the real Aave, it's around that $88. Oh, it actually pumped. It's at 111. So honestly, one day it could reach that, which is a good amount of exits, ladies and gentlemen. So if we did a nice little 111 divided by 0.3, that's a literal 370x. So you guys can check that out. But remember, no financial advice. Nothing is guaranteed. So yeah, do your own research, etc, etc. In my opinion, I'm probably going to make another video where I make like this gold mine of PRC20s, where I try to find things that have either zero liquidity, and I'll provide liquidity, get my own tokens and settle them, forget about them, but put them in an Excel sheet, because you never know in the future, what community, what village in, someone said, it was funny, but obviously I don't mean it anyway, what village in India wakes up and says, hey, let's buy this token. You want to front run them. You know what I mean? So yeah, go check them out. I'm gonna make this drop all the links about this LUSD Bernard and Avocado. They both reflect their tokens respectively. And yeah, I think that's basically it, ladies and gentlemen. I think that covers everything. Of course, Pulse Bitcoin is kind of moving sideways, but just a quick reminder, by the way, with WPLS, I am super bullish. I think even investing in normal PLS as a core token is bullish, because we're basically almost a 4x away. No, we're not. We're 3x back to all-time high, and that's basically at 2x of the sacrifice rate. Right now we're at half, so minus 50% of the sacrifice rate, which again, I'm fine with it, but it's obviously does make the chart look a little bit bad. We need to recover. You know what I mean? We need to recover, but I do think, the fact that the RSI is super low, like it's a great time to be in here. We're basically as low as all the way back in, December time, October time, and I think we're just about to almost flip on the RSI 3 on the MACD 3-day candle. So I think honestly, guys, we might see some type of movement. Keep that in mind. Keep it posted. But of course, I don't really buy and hold WPLS. I'd rather put it in the more speculative ones like INC, maybe even PulseX, provide liquidity to that. And that's actually one of my final points here, is at times that like these where everything is kind of negative, nothing is really performing, the best thing to do is honestly, guys, obviously aside from looking at the many projects and subsets of PulseChain such as PUSD, PDAI, whatever, Teddy Bear, and Atropa, which I'm super bullish, the 4 horsemen, right? PDAI, Teddy Bear, PWBTC, and Atropa. You know what I mean? That's the 4 tokens I'll always advocate for. No financial advice, of course. After that, what's the best thing to do when everything is red, ladies and gentlemen, is to just take advantage of the volume. You know what I mean? Like stuff like this that I showed you guys here, you'll literally be making a good amount of ROI, APRs from just making advantage of that volume, which is, again, it doesn't matter whether the sale or the transactions coming in are for a sell or for a buy. Like, it literally doesn't matter. You will still make yield. This is true yield. You'll make good amount of APR, especially being in V3. You can cut that range to be super tight. You'll make even more proportionally to the value that you're providing. So yeah, so that's my advice really, ladies and gentlemen. And as well, I'm a really big fan of PulseX farms. I really wished they can do more with PulseX. I feel like it's kind of like, hey, let's bring single-side staking pools. Let's have the ability to stake single-sided PWBTC. You know what I mean? Like, imagine that. That would be pretty cool. But obviously in the meantime, we do have a really good amount of so when you come here, you can go in the pools and you can see the highest APRs. For example, I don't know much about this, but for example, LUSD PLS technically in the past 7-day performance, it's been making 459% APR. Yeah, this is not APY, it's APR, which is basically, this is around 1.5% daily ROI, which is pretty sick. But obviously remember, it's because it includes that initial spike of volume. It'll probably be way lower than that. But honestly, in my opinion, anything that's above 30% APR, it's worth to be in. Honestly, you can park up your money there. It's beautiful, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, pretty cool stuff. But obviously with the impermanent loss, what I do recommend is you take your if you're going to make it in INC, it doesn't matter, you can let it accumulate. But if you're in V2, where you're going to make your yield back in auto compounded LP tokens, I do recommend you have an Excel sheet, and then you actually sell every single day's worth, so that your profit doesn't get affected by the impermanent loss. You want your impermanent loss to be with just your main LP, initial LP that you provided. But of course, because any LP that you're gonna initiate, guys, it's better to be in it for long term. You don't want to be on and off unless you're gonna make enough from the yield that it outweighs the impermanent loss. You understand what I'm saying? But yeah, I do like to separate the profits so that they don't have the impermanent loss affect itself. You know what I mean? This is why I would, you know, every single 24 hours, take it out, do the difference. How much LP did you earn? Take that, split the token up, and then actually cash out, you realize your gains. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my final thing, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, I'm going to end the video there. That's the latest news of crypto and of PulseChain. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video like this. Let me know. Like, I'm not here really shilling a token. I don't really need to. I mean, I know I kind of did with these two, but it's just something that I just want to cover. Yeah, shout out to you guys. Honestly, thank you very much for all the support. Go follow my Twitter, link in the description, and let me know in the comments, what do you think of this video? Did you learn something new? Do you like these types of videos where I give you guys the latest kind of crypto news, latest, you know, PulseChain news? I want to hear your thoughts. And of course, join my Telegram, link in the description. I'm literally very active on there. I basically open it every single hour of the day. You know what I mean? Crypto is running through my veins, and I love my community, guys, honestly. So yeah, you guys are amazing. Thank you very much for choosing to watch my video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.